I think the reason why Robin's not necessarily succeeding in brackets and in tournaments is because of, I guess, I'll really say it's just because of the bad frame data and maybe not having an easy time killing. It's kind of like with Mega Man, you know, you have to use weird, slightly more complicated than usual, not so basic setups just to get your kills. I feel like that's how it is for Robin. I never main Robin, I don't play him or her at all, but I feel like that's Robin in a nutshell. So, I'm sure we all love observing Robin, but there's only so much you can do with that character, I guess. And we can see now, Zone, he's not messing around. He's actually just picked his main, his true main, Corrin, and he's going up against Crispy. Crispy is the one to have climbed out of losers. No, actually, to make it this far in losers, to fight Zone. And we're going to see them play off right now. So let's get to it. So we've got Zone versus Crispy. Crispy with the down tilts. It does have a chance to trip, from what I understand. You really got to be careful with that move. This is losers round 7. First game. Zone, you know what, I played Zone's Corrin before. I feel like I have a good understanding of what he tends to like to do when he's moving around on stage. Zone, he's going to be a bit of a marth in that he's going to work his way around his opponent and kind of catch him with the tips of his quite wide hitboxes, basically. That's your typical Corrin, that's what Zone's going to do. But I feel like one of the things that makes a good Corrin good, like Zone, is that they don't overcommit. They don't overcommit too much because their frame data is pretty good, but it's not great. Wow, Neutral just caught Meta Knight as he upbeat towards the stage. I have not seen that before. That was really interesting. The hitbox is just that big that it's basically a great ledge guard option for stopping Meta Knight from snapping to the ledge. Crispy, knowing that he's in an alarming position now, he does not want to drop any percentage now that he's a stock behind, and he quickly finishes the job on Zone's stock, retaliating as fast as he can and successfully doing so. Successfully taking out Zone's stock in retaliation. So yeah, anyway, as I was saying, that was very interesting. I am curious. I think that really we are going to see more neutral airs from Zone against Crispy at the ledge if indeed that first stock was taken in an intentional way, which I feel like that was a pretty obvious thing. It looked like that was done on purpose. Neutral air to stop the Meta Knight up feed. Wow, Meta Knight going in with the up airs into down airs. And yeah, as I was saying, I feel like a good Corrin doesn't overcommit. Nice down air through the platform. That's another thing that Corrins like to do. You do have to watch out for that. Try to shield it and up smash it ideally, depending on what your character can do. But yeah, I feel like good Corrins also, they use their pin move, the side B, if I recall correctly. They use the side B to very carefully mix up their opponents. They know it's not safe, but as you can see here, they can cancel out of it, and they can also go in the opposite direction. So they have a lot of kind of mind games they can put out there, and because you can cancel out of it, you can in a sense make it safe when and where needed. So lots of liberal use from the pin should be taking place, I feel, from Zone. Nice down throw. Because, you know, it's got great range, and it sets up into a lot of other things, so you can really make the most of that. There we go, pin, and that's the stock. So it kills too. Anyway, yeah, on the other hand, I feel like we're going to see, and we have been seeing, Crispy, he has struggled at times, but he has proven he can go in. And that's really what he wants to do as Meta Knight. He hasn't got as great range, but he's got really great frame data as a Meta Knight. Not as great as Brawl, but he's got great frame data, there's no doubt on that. And yeah, he's got the strings to kill early. If he can mind game correctly and make his way in carefully, once he does get in, he will kill early if he picks the right options, basically. You could say that for any character, but with a character such as Meta Knight can certainly kill that little bit extra early compared to most other characters in this game. And I think that's really what Crispy's game plan is going to be. He's going to go in like any Meta Knight would do in most matchups. He's just going to push his way in when and where he can get in. But he's not going to recklessly run in over and over, because that's not going to work when your opponent has better range than you do. There we go, see? Dash attack, and he's been caught, and he's received 2 or 3 hits now. He's off stage, he makes it back, and out of a weird twist of fate, Korin dies from a soft bounce off the stage, not able to tech in time. He had plenty of time to do so, but it's just one of those things where the timing's so odd that sometimes it could just throw you off, even if you see it happen in front of you before your eyes. And even if you have enough time to react to it, you're just like, huh, what? And then you're suddenly just dead. Very hard to tech against the gentle stage bounce. Arguably, I would say it's harder than the high percentage quick stage bounce. Anyway, now Zone finding himself a stock behind, and Crispy going for the hoping for and attempting to get an early kill off the top blast zone, getting close but not quite pulling that off. Zone is going to really need to pick his moves carefully now, and what better choice to go for than the pin, because you can jump out of it. However, he did it twice in a row, and the second time Crispy did not allow it the second time, because he proved just there, you can punish it if you see it coming. He found the pattern, he punished it.
What's the score?
Let me just update the score for you guys. 1-1 right now. Okay, so now we are in game 3. Nice tornado from Crispy, racking up that damage against Zone. Zone attempting to get the down air through the ledge. I believe that the Dreamland platforms are a bit higher than Battlefield. At least it feels like that, because whenever I use my up smash as my character from below there, I don't necessarily get as much success in catching my opponents. I don't get as many hits necessarily as for example on Battlefield. Now I noticed Zone did a down air on there and did not catch Crispy's Meta Knight, but that could be due to a range of reasons, such as, for example, Crispy's hitbox as Meta Knight is going to be a little bit shorter than some of the other characters in this cast. So depending on the stage that both players are fighting on, he may be safe below the platforms when the platforms are higher up, like in Dreamland. Let's see if Zone can in fact get down airs on the platforms with Crispy's Meta Knight below in the future. Let's keep an eye out for that and see if that is a thing on the stage or not. Because Zone wasn't certainly going for it, so maybe it is a thing in there. Okay, Crispy covering the ledge, works his way back, tries to cover and protect the neutral, the central stage, but Zone seemingly finding his way in and maneuvering his way around Crispy a bit, only to nearly get killed with a retaliation from Crispy just there. Crispy trying to find his way back to the center, knows it's getting a bit dangerous and fades to the ledge, trying to surprise Zone with a teleport, but failing to do so. Now the scary thing about that move is that if that lands on you, that's your stock. So the first time he does it is extra potent, because you're not necessarily going to see it coming. Similarly to how like a Marth might do a shield breaker and you can react to it in theory. There's enough time to react to it, but it's just sometimes you just have no idea that it's going to come up and get you. And that's what Crispy certainly can rely on to claim some of his stocks against most of his opponents. Right now though, Crispy has relied on the classic Meta Knight up B, and he's evened out the stocks. Both players on 0% right now. Both players at a 1-1 score in this set. Who is going to draw first blood on this next stock? Both players messing around with the analog stick a bit. Facing left and right over and over again. Perfect pivoting. Honestly, boys, can we just get this fight started? Let's see. I want to see a scuffle right now. Oh, Zone throwing out a pin, but deciding not to commit to coming through with the heavy lance. He's slowly but surely evening out the percentages. He's now got a slight lead. Zone fails to cover Crispy's ledge options. Crispy is now covering the ledge, and Zone finds his way back in. Both players constantly reversing the pace of the match against each other. However, Zone definitely must have shook. Crispy definitely must have shook Zone just a little bit there with the up airs strings into RB. Both players are steadily creeping to into red percentage territory right now, and are getting closer and closer to the end of their final stocks. This is a very crucial match in the set. Whoever drops this next stock is going to be at a tremendous disadvantage, with the winner, of course, having room to breathe, being able to drop a game. Even if they then take the next one, they'll take the set. Zone down airing, not necessarily to hit Crispy, not necessarily to hit his opponent, but just to get to the ledge in a crafty and unpredictable way. He makes his way back to the middle. Crispy now off stage. Zone throwing out the neutral B, and Crispy messing up just there. Now, one thing I noticed with other characters, so I'm going to speculate a bit here while we're waiting for the next game to get going for us. This is a best of 5 after all. Let me just update the scores. That's 2-1 to Zone now. One thing I saw just there, and I've noticed a lot, is yeah, Koreans are always throwing out their neutral B against their opponents. Similarly to like Samus's laser gun, or however you might call it. It's going to stun you, which puts you in a very bad position, especially when you're off stage. But the thing is, with Korean's neutral B, Korean can do that to make you air dodge. And then, in theory, because I know other characters do this, like Mewtwo, for example, and I think Samus might be able to do this too as well. With any characters that shoot out large neutral B projectiles that travel slowly all the way a long range across the screen, so even Greninja, for example, can do this. I think what Zone was doing there was he's throwing out the neutral B, and then when you air dodge it, he can just kind of run off stage and fair you or neutral air you. So that's what I think he was trying to set up there. And then Crispy was trying to go extra low and seemingly kind of space that attack a bit, only to find himself sort of SDing. Now, maybe he was just trying to get an up B after that. I'm not sure what it was that got him killed in the end, because it all happened so fast. But I will say that, that was quite a nice potential mix-up for Zone, and I am curious if it does indeed set up into forward airs or neutral airs, for example. Can Zone do neutral B into forward air off stage, catching you when you, for example, air dodge coming back? Let's keep watching in this this fourth game we're now on, and let's see if he's gonna set that up as an off-stage mix-up, and if that works out in that way as I'm kind of reading into or not. I'm very curious about that. However, I have to point out right now, wow, Crispy is a whole stock behind. Zone is only at 50%. He's at a very good advantage right now. There's also an extra win up over Crispy, so this could be Crispy's tournament stock we're talking about in this moment. Crispy is not on his home field, not in any kind of home field advantage. He is not on Halberd. That stage is banned in tournament rules, unfortunately, and will not be here to help Meta Knight today. Crispy finding himself in Lilat. It is going to be a useful stage for him, though, nonetheless, because he will be able to get up to Zone that little bit more extra easily. What with the stage being so thin, you can approach that a little bit more fast, a little bit more easily. Despite Zone having all these kind of great range tools, his frame data may betray him a bit on this stage. So Crispy, he's on a stage that will work out for him. He has picked this himself. He must be comfortable with it. And we can see just there, he's taken a stock. He's at 70. He hasn't dropped too much percent, although he just got hit there. Oh dear. So it's possible, especially with rage in this game, and especially with a jab lock such as that one. He's got a good 6 or 7 hits just then. It did not get him too much damage or a kill. He got Korean up by up to 33%, but he's in a significantly better position compared to a minute or two ago. So come on, Crispy, let's see what you can do. Can you bring this to a very final game in this best of 5? Down throw, runs his way in, up air, up air, up air, 4 up airs, up B, and he's dead! 4 up airs into up B. I'm not sure if that was true or not. I'm not a Meta Knight main, but 4 up airs. We counted them. And And a 5th hit followed, and that hit was good old up B. And that saved the day for Crispy. Out of nowhere, it really was. Did you guys see that coming? I didn't see that coming. Maybe if you're a Meta Knight main, that's just like standard flair or something. But for me, that was special. That was really tasty, and it was very clutch. So good stuff, Crispy. We are now updating the scores. You are alive and well. You are in the very final game though, so you can't mess up now. You haven't got much room to work with. You've just got those 2 stocks, and the same goes for you, Zone. You are both on your final 2 stocks of the tournament, for this set at least. So indeed, as I predicted earlier, a character such as Meta Knight, especially in the hands of someone such as Crispy, is going to be going for those early and mid-percentage kills. That's how he's going to get the job done. And a character such as Zone is going to be just using that superior range. He's picked Battlefield in this case because of losing the last game. He gets the pick. He's went to Battlefield. He's got lots of range, and especially being Corrin, he's got moves such as Neutral Air, which are going to cover very wide spaces around him, including the platforms. He's got lots of capability, lots of tools that will allow him to punish you going around the platforms. But in this case, he didn't punish you on the platform, he punished you, Crispy, at the ledge. And you just lost your stock. And you are now in a very similar situation to where you were with Lilat. So, not only that, but you're on a stage that does not favor you as well as Lilat. You are going to have to play your heart out now if you want to take this set. And if you take this set, you will deserve it, boy. However, luck, or at least odds, as you could call it, is currently in Zone's favor. You are going to have to carry him to the blast zone and beyond to crawl your way out of this loser's bracket situation. Up B, it doesn't kill, but it did land. It's a little bit more damage. What are you going to do next, Crispy? You need to find a way through Zone's first stock as fast as possible. Zone pinning the stage, decides not to commit to it. Crispy with the dash attack punish. He's getting quite a few reads and punishes right now, but he needs the kill. He doesn't need damage. He needs the kill, and he gets it with the Dimensional Cape, I believe it's called. The Dimensional Cape. If you use it once a set or once a game, they're not necessarily going to see it coming, and Zone did not see it coming there. Now, it's only a 60% or so deficit. This is a lot more even a game than it looks like. One percentage might be yellow and one might be red, but it's a lot more even than it may look right now. One of the decisive factors may be, though, is that Zone is on a stage that he likes. Crispy will have a decent time on the stage, but it will favor Zone a little bit more. Nice up B from Zone, racking up a little bit of kind of chip damage against Crispy. That's quite a hard up B to punish because it's got so many hitboxes that just beat out a lot of ledge options that you attempt to go for. Typically, I find that you need something a bit meaty, or you need to throw out multiple individual hitboxes, or to even just go for a trump against a character like Corrin. Most importantly, though, you need to throw out a punish without being in range of his own up B if you do, in fact, try to punish a character like Corrin. That is a key fact. It's kind of like a Marth up B or any other up B that catches you as it snaps to the ledge. You have to really plan your way around it ahead of time. Okay, so Crispy is at death percent, or close to it at least. He might be able to use some very cautious DI to make it out of one or two situations. Zone with the short neutral B, trying to pressure Crispy, and then as Crispy makes his way up, he unfortunately falls into the clutch, falls into the arms of Zone, into the deathly embrace before being thrown upwards into the sky and out of the tournament. Crispy is now out of the tournament. He did a really good job, but